Okay, once again, I would like to welcome everybody to the 2024 Garden City High School Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I would first like to recognize some special guests that we have with us this evening. First of all, our Board of Education members present today, please stand and be recognized. They include Robin Bergkamp, Nathan Heck, Mark Hind, and Randy Ralston. I would also like to recognize members of our district leadership team, Dr. Mike Dominguez, Superintendent of Garden City Public Schools, and Josh Guyman, Assistant Superintendent. Along with the guy that puts this all together, Roy Sessman, Public Information Officer. In 1984, an idea was conceived whereby past graduates of Garden City High School might be honored for their accomplishments. This idea was brought into action in 1985 when the first members of the Garden City High School Hall of Fame were inducted. By doing this, we show that Garden City High School produces graduates that are second to none. As you can see on the wall over here, there have been 76 outstanding people that have been inducted into the Garden City High School Hall of Fame. We can be proud to have these individuals represent us. And I would like to recognize one Hall of Fame member that we have here with us tonight, Mr. Stuart Nelson, inducted in 2013. Each year, we add 2 more distinguished graduates of Garden City High School to the Hall of Fame. Tonight, we are honored to induct Dwayne Koster of the class of 1961 and Dr. Stephen Bopart from the class of 1986 into the Garden City High School Hall of Fame. At this time, I would like to have Sam Hams come up and introduce Mr. Koster.
Well, good evening. It's certainly an honor and pleasure to get to introduce one of our inductees here this evening, Dwayne Koster. I'm not going to roast you, but I'm just not going to have you come up here. But as was alluded to this wall of Hall of Famers here, it's all about families. It's about people relations. You know, we're in this part of the world where everybody just wants to fly over and that, but yeah, we've really been quite blessed in this area with resources. And they've been great resources that's allowed this community to grow. But it's really been the people that's made it happen. And these people on that wall are some of those that's made it happen. And I think what was brought my attention to Wayne and some of his friends here with him that fall in the same category is, I'm going to talk about his families. Now, I'm not bringing up something bad here, like it's got more families than you're aware of or something. But there's a lot of different forms of families. But I really admired his class era there in the early 60s. As they went to school, they were very close friends. And they ended up coming back to Garden City, and they all made great contributions to this community and a part of that growth of what we're experiencing here yet today. And I think it's been really unique how they've stayed together during all that time. So that's the first family. From Garden City High School, Dwayne went on to K-State, got his business degree, and so there he joined the K-State Wildcat family. And him and his wife, Kathy, have been very good supporters of that as well. He also did some grad work at Fort Hays the following year. But it was there in '66 that he joined the John Deere family. And you talk about green. I'm surprised his whole family isn't here in green outfits. But for 3 years, he was with John Deere as territorial manager, and also did a lot of train coordinating. But timing is everything. And when the John Deere dealership that Dwayne and Dennis and us all knew back there when we were growing up, it was actually located where the 5 Points McDonald's is. And Goshawk decided to step down. Dwayne took the opportunity to take on the dealership. And he moved the dealership out to its current location and named it American Implement. What's been interesting to watch from there, and my family being involved in agriculture, we've had a lot of dealings there as well, but Dwayne's grown with that. He also met the challenges of John Deere, and today, American Implement, just as the store out west of town, they have 16 dealerships throughout this region. Now, early on, just to back up a second, is Dwayne even put his dad to work. The dad was helping out with the early starting of his company. But then, as times went along, now his son, Chad, is overseeing the corporate division of American Implement. And Chad has two sons who's handling the everyday operations out of American Implement here west of town. Now, Grandpa still has an office out there, which he goes to every day. But Chad and his brother Greg, I think both cut their teeth on John Deere toys. And his brother Greg also has been involved in American Implement, but later accepted the challenge with the dealership in Nebraska. And here, both Greg and Chad have sons in the operation. Chad has his two sons out here, American Implement, and Greg has a son involved there in Nebraska as well. So here's 4 generations that's been represented within that John Deere family. And I think that's very commendable and a lot to be proud of doing, very much so. But I just wanted to make that point as far as the importance of family and what the people of this community has done for Garden City. And it's been the people that's made the difference. So Dwayne, if you come forward this time, we'll get on with these presentations.
No, my speech is pretty short. Thanks to the Hall of Fame Committee for this honor. Thanks to Sam Hands for the nomination. And congratulations to Dr. Bopart. Thanks to my wife Kathy, son Greg and his wife Lily, sons Chad and his wife Nancy and their families for their attendance. Also, thanks to the Friends for their attendance. Also, I thought there would be some graduating seniors, so I was going to make a comment to select graduating seniors and their opportunities in life. Everything has a reason. My late mother-in-law, Edith Smith, advised me I needed to go to college in order to date Kathy. What would happen if I didn't go to college? So I enrolled at Garden City Community College. I delivered milk at 5:30 in the morning for 2 years going to community college. Hope it doesn't hurt anybody. I transferred to Kansas State University and then into business administration. Our intent was to farm, and one summer we got hailed out. Kathy decided maybe we ought to do something else. We later, after graduating, attended one semester of graduate school at Fort Hays. Actually, it was avoid the Vietnam War, to be frank. Interviewed John Deere, went to work in sales. Repeating what Sam said, interviewed Deere, went to work, bought the dealership in 1970, started with 4 employees. Fast forward, invested in many businesses, including installing wind generators 20 years before they became popular. Brought Dotson to Garden City, farming, dairy, feed yard, built apartments, flipped houses in Arizona, and much more. You'd think that I should have been able to stick to one opportunity instead of doing many, many things. Presently, we have 16 locations with 400 employees. Chad's CEO, Greg's associated with a dealership of similar size, Landmark in Nebraska. One of the things that you might be amazed at the progress made as far as John Deere is they actually expect a fully autonomous farm by 2030. That's only 6 years from now. Wow. 6 years from now, a fully autonomous farm. Hard to believe. High expectation. Kathy and I are happy to have 3 grandsons, Blake, Bradley, and Jared in the John Deere business. Our latest investment has been Southwind Golf and Dining in 2022, hoping to assist in recruiting young businesses back to Garden City, along with assisting in healthcare in Garden City, recruitment of doctors, nurses, that type of thing. Jury's still out. Everything has a reason. For your information, the classes of 61, 2, and 3 raised the money for the Bronze Buffalo over here on the main floor. We still have a few classmates that didn't ante up and still in arrears. So I don't know. Maybe Dennis, if you collect those people, we'd be pretty happy about that. Obviously, we don't have any graduating seniors here tonight, but I was going to tell them if graduating seniors, whether you select a tech school, a community college, or a college, the lights are bright. Be happy for others. There's room for all of us to be successful. Every man of Buffalo. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to have Robert Smith come forward and introduce Dr. Bogart.
It's my honor tonight to introduce Dr. Stephen Brotbar. Steve is part of a tight-knit family. But in 1985, he chose to stay in Garden City when his family moved to Illinois. He wanted to spend his senior year and graduate from Garden City High School. After high school, he attended the University of Illinois, where he obtained a BS and MS in electrical engineering in 1990 and 91. From 91 to 93, he conducted research for the Air Force. In 1998, he received his PhD from MIT Medical and Electrical Engineering, and in 2000, he completed his MD from Harvard Medical School. Currently, Professor Bopard is a full professor and research head at the University of Illinois, with appointments to the Department of Electrical, Computer Engineering, Bioengineering, and Medicine. He owns several patents and published scientific articles on a regular basis. Get to know him if you have a chance. He's a really nice guy. I introduce Steve.
Thank you very much. Really I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I too want to thank both Robert and Jean for this nomination for this Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank the selection committee as well for this opportunity to be here and to join one of the many, I'd say, seminal leaders and forward thinkers on the wall there as well. As well as Dwayne, too. Pleasure to be here sharing the stage with you this year as well. Bob mentioned that something that was pretty unique in my experience and background, and my family only spent about 5-6 years here in Garden City. My father was an agricultural engineer from Illinois, and as you probably all know, the ag economy can go up and down, cyclical. So we moved around a lot, and it was in roughly about 1980 that brought my family out here to Garden City. My father was working for Butler. That's here. I'm not sure if they're still here or not, but it gave this opportunity to really come to this place. I was born in Illinois, but came here then for high school. And my parents always would ask me and my 3 sisters how we felt about moving so often and how that could be disruptive. But in a sense, we looked at every opportunity as an adventure and as an opportunity to visit and live in a new place, meet new people, to experience new cultures and climates, and that was what the case also coming out here to Garden City. It was, not unlike Central Illinois, very agricultural based, but just even flying in this afternoon, just being reminded of all the circles, right, the crop circles and the irrigation and just the expanse just is unparalleled. But as Bob had mentioned too, going through high school here was such an impactful part of my life. But when it came time for my senior year here, my father again was unfortunately laid off and was relocating my family back to Illinois. And we had that hard conversation sitting down as what I would like to do, go to Illinois for my senior year in high school or stay here. And I chose to stay here, and part of that, we talked about family. We heard so much about the family that's here. And part of that family is really reflective of what Bob and Jean and Tux, a good friend of mine throughout high school and many years, did. They approached me and offered to open their home to allow me to stay with them my senior year and finish high school. And I never will ever forget that generosity and just that openness that was so unexpected. Again, they approached us, not the other way around. And that sense of family and that sense of community has never left me throughout my whole life. Growing up here in high school, going to high school, all I remember most is just the opportunities that were just incredible for me. This was the time where computers first emerged, personal computers, and Garden City High School had an array of class with Apple computers, some of the first Apple computers that we were able to learn on. I was a bit of a math and robotics geek, and so really got inspired by the math teachers and teachers that would allow us to tinker and think about building robots at the time. I was an avid 4-H member, was for 12 years or so growing up, and the Finney County Fair, and being able to learn skills and experience responsibility and new skills. To this day, all my friends laugh when I tell them I know how to sew and cook. And as well as plant crops and groom dogs and grade meat, you know, that's still on, you know, a living, you know, head of cattle. And so these are skills that I took with me my entire life that is available here. I was involved in tennis, on the tennis team. I was really saddened to hear that Bob Krug passed away a couple years ago, but he was our coach. And he too inspired, while I was very interested in math and science and engineering and technology, you know, he was able to keep a lot of us grounded in hard work and discipline, and always being able to strive for something that, you know, we could never quite achieve, but always had to work for. And similarly, opportunities at Garden City Community College. There was a karate program there that many of my friends and I were involved in, and it was very unique. This master Ruku Kempo Karate was here in Garden City. Very few places for this opportunity, but you know, throughout these years, it was just this incredible opportunity and to be able to push ourselves. And I think that, in talking to other people and throughout my life and other communities, don't seem to have that same sense. And I truly think that there is something unique about this Garden City community. It's a sense of community, a sense of goodwill. I noticed this in Illinois. There's something about a farmer's hard work ethic that farmers have, that creativity, that inspiration. You know, my life as a professor and as an engineer, we design a lot of technologies, optical microscopes, to image tissue and cells. And I can tell you a little bit more about that. But so much of what we think about is innovation. And what I've come to realize is that innovation comes from those people that you expected less, those that have limited resources. And very often, those limited resources inspire you to be creative with what you have and to make things that haven't been made before, but with only those limited resources. So there's this element that I think I've learned out here as well, that spirit of innovation and creativity. You know, to tell you a little bit more about what happened to me after I left, and Bob gave kind of a summary of some of that, but I'll tell you a little bit more. So after leaving here, I did go back to the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, work on my bachelor's and master's degrees in engineering. I got interested in biology and bioengineering because I was interested in how these little cells, neurons, right, could have electrical properties. And yet they're just little bags of salt. They have electrical properties. They can communicate. And so that got me very interested in how engineering and biology and medicine can kind of mix. This is one of the I think, lessons that I'd like to share, you know, with the next class and generation as well, is that these great ideas and discoveries are going to come at the intersection of fields. This intersection of engineering and medicine and biology, where you sometimes have to step out of your own comfort zone into a new climate, and the problems that seem intractable in one discipline or domain can have unique solutions by another. So to give you an example, I helped found a new engineering-based college of medicine at the University of Illinois, first of its kind in the world. And it's this idea that we can take students that are trained in engineering and teach them about medicine, to become a compassionate, caring physician, but then to think about solving problems in healthcare and patients with not just drugs and a pharmacological approach, but maybe there's technological approaches that can be used to help solve some of the medical challenges that we face today. It's just an example of this integration. Along the way, when I was down in Texas, I met my wife, Marnie, and we fell in love right away, proposed within 6 months or so, and she was in the Air Force as an officer, and I was working as a civilian in the Air Force. So I always like to joke that it was truly the officer and the gentleman kind of interaction. You know, that was part of our story too. And so she had to complete some military service up in Omaha, Nebraska, when I went up to Boston to work on my degree, and she joined me there. And today she's a professor as well, working in the same institute that I work at the University of Illinois. She studies exercise, the molecular basis of exercise. And I study how essentially building new microscopes, optical microscopes, to look at cells and diagnose cancer even in the operating room. I look at using these microscopes to detect early changes in Alzheimer's disease, in many other different diseases, and again, thinking about how technology can really advance our healthcare systems and improve the lives and health of so many people. We have 3 wonderful children, and it's just great, to see them grow up, but I would admit that's probably one of the most challenging things that I've ever done in my life, is to raise children, or at least our children. But it's wonderful to see them kind of also develop in their own light, as I'm sure many of you have seen as well. Where this is all headed, I'm very much looking forward to some comments to the graduates on Sunday. And even though I only have, I think, 2 or 3 minutes, I was joking, as a professor, our job is to profess. And so, we're used to giving 1-hour lectures, so it's going to take a bit of work for me to distill my whole life's lessons down into 2 or 3 minutes. But I hope to do that on Sunday for the graduates. But, I think about some of the comments from Steve Jobs. And, in one of his graduation commencement addresses, he said that you could really only connect the dots in your life by looking back to see kind of where you've come and how decisions and experiences in your life all are connected in some way to bring you to this moment, in this point in time. And when I was a student here at Garden City High School, I had no idea of where I would be in the future or where I would be, here today. But looking back, I realized that I would not be here today, and I would not have been able to accomplish what I've accomplished, and learned what I've learned, done what I've done, without Garden City, and without Garden City High School and the experiences that I've learned here too. And I hope that same is true for all the graduates and all those yet to come here at Garden City. So thank you again for all this opportunity to be here, to really join many others in this recognition and honor. It truly is an honor. Thank you.
Congratulations to both of our inductees. And in closing, I would like to thank you for being here this evening for our Hall of Fame induction. As they've mentioned, they will get their opportunity to address the class of 2024, which is one of our biggest classes we've ever had here at Garden City High School. That will happen at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon in the gym right in there. You're welcome to come on in, go in. It's all set, the stage is set, everything's ready if you want to take a look at things. But also I want to invite you to stay, join us for some punch, some cake in the back there, and congratulate our newest Hall of Fame members. And before I totally conclude here, I do want to recognize someone who arrived just a bit ago, our Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Maria Gomez-Rock. So, thank you for helping us make this a great day to be a Buffalo, and have a good evening.